Good afternoon and good evening, all. I am C. Rajeshwaran. Along with me, Sejal Shurve, one of my co-author and then research fellow who joined this conference for this presentation. And first of all, thanks for the conference coordinators for allowing us to present our research activity. And I will, start without wasting the time. So this is how we have structured our presentation. So we will present our need for the study followed by the objectives, and then we will get into the challenges faced by the Indian sector for the renewable energy, especially solar power plant installations, and then how it does go, what are the different challenges with that. And we also will have a look at or have a look at the global outlook, successful business models which happened across the globe. And even in India, there are several solar installations or large projects so far implemented. And we will also explain you what are the different business models they have adapted. And finally, through our study, we will have our recommendations on the solar business model for different segments. We will walk you through that. And then we will conclude and present our scope for this further study. Yep. So, Sejal, over to you. Please cover the need for the study and objectives and others. Yeah, you need to unmute yourself. We are not able to hear you. No, we are not able to hear you. Okay. You are in mute, Sejal. Can you unmute yourself?
He unmute himself. Actually, he is unmute. Let me.
Hello.
Hello, Sejal.
Okay, Sejal, we are not able to hear you. I will take it up. So, need for the study. See, as our research work is on the new business models for the solar power plant and the segment in India, right? So we know that with respect to the renewable energy, around 32 gigawatts of renewable energy projects which are already installed in India, and which is very high. With it is 230% more than the year which if we compare 2010. And we are also expected to reach 120 gigawatts to 125 gigawatts of cumulative renewable energy installations by 2022. But our ambitious target is around setting up 450 gigawatts of renewable energy by 2030, which needs 500 billion plus investment in India itself. And that is not possible only by the government. It needs private participations as well, and international investments as well. Investors also we need to attract. But nevertheless, having said that, okay, do we have the business models which are adapted now, which is going to pave the way for that? May not be. So that's why we had a deep look at the different business models, what India segment has to adapt in order to receive the private participation more and international investments to accelerate the renewable energy ambitions as soon as possible. So our research focuses on innovative and new business models for Indian business landscape for solar photovoltaic power generation segment. Having said that, we took our objective as to study the current challenges faced by the solar PV power market in India. And we also wanted to learn, study, analyze, and understand the successful business model which were executed in USA, Germany, Netherlands, Denmark, China, Taiwan, and areas where the India, before getting into this particular space, they were ruling the segment, right? So we wanted to understand and adapt what are the successful business model executed there, and also to identify and propose a right set of business model for each and every business segment, because one business model is not fit for all segments. When I say segments, large enterprises, small and medium enterprises, and finally the consumers. So the business model which has to be given for each and every enterprise should be different, and that's what we are going to identify and propose. That's how we took our objective. And when we started analyzing what are all the challenges which is contributing to the contributing to the business and contributing to the capex or contributing to the cost and contributing to the performance of the solar, we categorized the overall challenges into 6 categories. Okay, one is on the land acquisition and cost in India. Second, policies and frameworks. Third, lack of awareness. Fourth, poor financing options. And fifth, infrastructural issues. And sixth is high level of transmission and distribution loss. I will have a quick highlight on few of the losses because we have detailed out our challenges in our paper. See, land acquisition. Land contributes to the major capex of the solar power plant installation, initial setup, right? And having said that, the most of the time the land is farmland is converted into a barren land, and barren land is allocated to a large power plant projects. In that particular process, it also happens that the authenticity of the ownership and the land revenue records all are missing, or somehow we are not able to trace them appropriately. And because of that, the land acquisition itself, it's a challenging process in order to, when we go for a large implementations, when we want to go for a 2 gigawatt or 5 gigawatt or 15 gigawatt project, like what we are going to do in Gujarat, right? So that is one such challenge. Second, very important challenge is the poor financing options. When I compare to US, Denmark, and other countries, wherever the bankers or any leasing providers, when they're going to provide, the interest range lies between 5 to 7%, whereas in India, it is 12 to 15%. So as the interest rate is so high, the capex also will go high, and because of that, LOC, the levelized cost of the energy generated per watt is also increased. It also getting increased. Infrastructural issues, most of the time the silicon, starting from solar power panel, inverters, circuit breakers, meters, everything we are importing from the countries like China, Taiwan, and other countries. And we should have our own manufacturing plants that would help us to resolve these issues. Currently, around 300 plus million is being spent on importing the components outside India. And a high level of transmission and distribution losses, it has to be improved by the technology. Around 20% of the solar energy, energy generation is lost when it is transmitted or distributed over the wire. So these are the challenges which we analyzed, and this is either it is contributing to the cost of capex or O&M OPEX, or the third is the performance of the solar power plant itself. So having said that, is there the similar challenges would have been there with the other global countries as well, right? And how they adapted, how they are doing good. What are all the best practices which we can take from them as we are also trying to accelerate from India perspective, right? So this is a kind of a different projects or case studies which we have analyzed, and we picked 4 to present. One is the Gramin Shakti financial model, which is adapted by Bangladesh, and which is generating or which is contributing around 40% of the renewable energy generation national level installations. It has started in 1996, and it is going as a capex or it is funded by the different agencies. First, they have started as an NGO, and they have received the fund from the different institutions. And at some point of time, government also started funding them. And
sorry, you have 2 minutes. So you have 2 minutes.
Yeah, thank you. And one such important interesting model, peer-to-peer financing through crowdfunding model, which is adapted in US. And here crowdfunding, the project would be published in a public portal, and anybody can, even if I have a $25 or $50, I can log into the portal, I can select a project, and I can contribute to the particular project as an investor. When the project goes on live, as an investor, even $50 or $25 whoever is paid, they will get their revenue share. And pay-as-you-go model, Azure Technologies from UK, they have provided scratch card based. In India, we have, most of the countries, we have prepaid cards, right? I can buy the scratch card for 20 rupees, 50 rupees, and recharge my mobile. Likewise, I can recharge solar energy. This is pay-as-you-go model. And fourth one is the Grundfos lifelink model, where water is through the water dispensing unit, the solar power plant energy also used for the dispensing machines and then motors, and that is helping them to supply the energy, and by the way, get the funding back. So these are the different models, CapEx, joint venture models, crowdfunding models, which are adapted across the globe. And when we looked at India, when we say at this particular point of time, solar energy, it's fifth place, okay, and it beat the Germany, and it is in the fifth place, right? And we also have large power plants implemented, 2.25 gigawatts in Badla Solar Park, and we are trying for Kutch Solar Park, 15 gigawatts. It is being built in Gujarat. There are different models which are built in, already utilized. One is CapEx, joint venture based models. But having said that, is there any awareness passed? And then is there any small and medium businesses getting entered into it? It's very low with respect to the acceleration. And when we analyzed the different value chain, across this particular industry, we understood that apart from the system owner and user, the system integrator by himself, O&M service providers, and the banking financial providers and government institutions are the key value providers who is contributing to this particular value chain and who can be part of the business model as well. And having said that, our learnings from the global outlook and our own implementations, we have proposed here different business models: CapEx, joint venture, third-party ownership, self-financing, lease financing, pay-as-you-go consumer finance model, and solar shared services and solar crowdfunding models we have proposed here. And not only proposed, but we also categorized who can use what. When the large industries, when they wanted to do the grid connected, they can go for a TPO model, CapEx model, and joint venture model. When the small and medium enterprises are direct consumers, they can adapt for a solar crowdfunding model or pay-as-you-go model and a self-financing and lease financing model. And when it is off-grid, I can go for solar shared services model as well. So we also categorized large and enterprise segments, what are the models applicable, SMB, small and medium enterprise segments, what are the models applicable, and the consumer-oriented models, what are the models applicable, we categorized them. And this is how we wanted to conclude as well, right? So we have learned what is being adapted in the global market, and we also try to propose what are the different models for different segments, what it can be used. And as an extension of this work, we also wanted to understand and analyze the different policies, frameworks, and incentives programs which is available in the Indian market, and what has to be improved is what we wanted to extend as a study and recommend, okay, going forth. And these are our references, and this is our research team. Thanks for your patience. I just open the floor for question.
Thank you very much, sir, for your very valuable presentation.